Hey guys, this is StarrySky and welcome to the Words of Wisdom video. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video for is pretty much just the title says, to bring some words of wisdom to the players of dCUO. Now, I'm going to be doing this kind of series every now and again. So this video is on about some words of wisdom to do with DPS. Now, I always get asked quite frequently how to improve damage, how can I come top, and all this kind of such and such. And a lot of DPS worry that if they don't come top, that they actually are a bad DPS. Now, that's actually not the case. Now, the reason why I mean that for is, yeah, main groups consist of 3 DPS for raids. Now, you could have 1 DPS that basically will come top, but he will die a lot more than you. So let's put this in an example, right? We got 1 DPS with like 3 million. We got second DPS with like 2.8 million, and then we have the third DPS with, let's just say he's done really bad and like he's like 2.2. Now, out of the 3 DPSs, most people think that since he came top, he's the better DPS. That's actually not true. Now, let's go for this, right? The top DPS came top 3 million, but he died more, took more damage, used more power, and such and such. Does that mean he's better? So let's just say the second DPS, only a couple 100k behind the top DPS, but the second DPS died a lot less, took a lot less damage, used a lot less power, and needed less healing. Which one is the better player? Would you rather have the top DPS, who will basically he'll do a lot of damage, but it puts his whole group at risk because he's dying more, taking more damage, and so forth? Or would you rather have someone who still puts out a hell of a lot of good damage, but yet he dies less, needs less power, and less healing? Personally, for me, I would rather have the second DPS, because the top one may have come more damage, but overall, the better player was number 2, because he still did a lot of damage, but yet he was more better for the group. Didn't die as much, needed less healing, and all this kind of stuff. The stats that no one else really looks on the scorecard. Now, the third DPS, let's just say his damage would need to be improved. Now, there's always room for improvement. That's why this Words of Wisdom thing is basically all to the players that if you're not coming top, do not worry. Just because you come top did not mean you weren't the better DPS out of all 3. Now, I've been having to do a lot of controlling recently, and I've been seeing a lot of DPS, competing for numbers, but yet they've been dying and putting themselves at risk. And I've been seeing a lot of people, also a second, who've just been just behind the top player, but they're, other statistics like deaths and so forth were just over twice as good. So like number 1 had died like 40 times, and the second person only done like 25. Instantly, to me, the second player was a better one. So what I'm saying is, all to the people out there who think that just because you come top that you weren't a good player, just take a look for the scorecard at the end, and you'll see what I mean. Compare the damage in, the healing in, the death ratio, etc, etc. So, don't feel so bad if you don't come top. You can take pride in yourself that you weren't far behind the DPS, but yet everything else made you the better player overall. So, I hope this Words of Wisdom will benefit players, to bump up your confidence. Don't feel bad about yourselves. Feel good about yourselves, that you know that you're a good team player and still putting out a lot of good damage. So guys, thank you for viewing this video, and until next time, I'll see you then.
Where my power? Green Lantern, fly!